Out of the Ordinary Insights, brought to you by Investec Specialist Bank.
I'm going to move the conversation on now to captains of industry. We're going to talk about lessons learned, about mistakes made along the way. But Shamil, I want to come back to your story. You fast-tracked your progress through a corporate, a big corporate. Did you aspire to be CEO of Vodacom?
Yes, very much so. But I mean, obviously, when you start off at 22, 23, you don't really think that you're going to be the CEO of the company one day. And but I think, you know, for me, the big lessons learned in terms of one is hard work and really putting in the effort and so on. And I think one's got to put in the effort. But I also say to my team when I talk to them about leadership is that if you're given a responsibility, you've got to make it bigger and better than what is envisaged. And you've got to take license. So, and I think that's what I did in Vodacom. I think I was an accountant with an entrepreneurial spirit, if you like, but you know, you create your own opportunities and you have to create those opportunities. And so when someone asks you to do X, do Y and Z, and put in the effort and the commitment to do it. And then you'll succeed, because then opportunities start to present themselves. And then you're going to grab those opportunities with both hands and then and progress from there.
Ivan, the key to success in your book?
I think passion's the most important thing you can have in any business. And if you've got that innate passion and you love what you do, well, I love what I do and I love people. And if you can bring people on, you know, with you on a journey of vision and where you see yourself going, and they can believe in that together with you, well, that's a winning formula for any business. And I think, you know, for me, as I say, working with people, creating, dreaming.
It's been hard work. It's been hard work.
It's been very hard work, but I've enjoyed it. So when you say it's hard work, I mean, no one wants to complain about saying, okay, I was at the office Saturdays and Sundays. And I remember once being interviewed by a journalist and said, oh, you know, do you play golf? And I said, you're at the 9th tee now, which was the office. You know, if you love what you do, it doesn't matter. You don't need recreation. So that is your recreation. So for me, work is fun. I love it.
And Sidi, you're agreeing there with what Ivan is saying.
Yeah,
work is fun.
I did say that a passion is very important in everything that you do, including a business. But my style of leadership, which is my key success factor, is inspirational leadership. It's important for me to inspire people that work for me, because once you've done that, your work is easy. You know, you empower them by inspiring them. So that's really my key success factors. And I have stayed in the profession. In fact, I've come back to the profession because, guys, I was a banker myself. You know, having left the profession, been with Citibank in the States, been with the Development Bank here in South Africa, and went back to the profession. So I do have that flair of entrepreneurial spirit as well, in terms of saying, guys, we can't just be seen as the old accountants. We just need to make business and be very innovative in our business style. So that's my key success factor.
Stephen, I've asked you this question a couple of times over my broadcast career. How do you define your leadership style?
Yo. I think...
You usually give me lengthier answers.
Yeah, no, I'll try. Look, I try and lead from the front. I try and help and support people, and I try and give them credit for what they do as opposed to taking credit. If there's trouble, I'll put my face in line first. So I will take personal responsibility, and I don't have a culture of blame. So you're always trying to encourage people to do their best. I mean, I buy exactly what Ivan and Shamil and Tsipi were saying, is I believe in people who have bright eyes and energy, and I mean, in how we built Investec is hiring people with the right attitude, and they have enough skill, but they have to have the right attitude, and the attitude develops into the enthusiasm and the passion. And if you don't have passionate people, I sit here, we do an induction, I talk to these people, the new hires, and I say to them, you know, you've got to have the right attitude in life to get somewhere. If you're misery and you walk around cleaning the floors with your bottom lip, then you're going to get nowhere because people are going to shy away from you. So, it is about leading from the front and trying to encourage people and always being fair and having a culture where people can approach you on anything about anything at any time and trying to be supportive and helping them. Sometimes, one screams and shouts and swears, but other times one is supportive. It's just depending on the situation. But be yourself. I think that's the important thing. Be genuine, be authentic, and be yourself, and don't have airs and graces. Just be on earth, because you're the same human being.
Shamil, we've focused extensively on work, on hard work, on discipline in terms of getting to the top, passion for work. But Stephen made the point, you're all human. So balance, how do you strive for balance? Because I think somewhere along the way, many of us lose it.
Yeah, I'm not sure it goes quite. I wouldn't say I'm the most balanced person in the world, so I'll be lying if I said I was. I think when you take on a role like this, there isn't balance, and there isn't balance, and you need to accept that, and you need to make peace with it. On the one side, having said that, you're obviously going to make time for your family and so on, but you work long hours, and you've got to find a way to be there. And you've got to have a supportive family as well. So, you've got to find a way to be there for the important moments, but you also got to accept that it comes with sacrifices. So, I mean, if you're looking to have an 8-to-5 job, go home and then switch off, and it doesn't work like that. You're working 16, 17 hours a day.
And I think this is important for people who are aspiring to be captains of industry to understand what it takes and what effort and what sacrifices you need to make. Ivan, does it change along the way from inception, starting up a business, to later in the business? Can you strive for balance down the line?
Well, when you don't have any infrastructure, I mean, you're doing everything yourself. So as the business grows and you're lucky enough to be successful in a business and you're able to attract infrastructure, well, obviously stuff changes. But, this story about balance, I'm not sure about it, because I know I'm not balanced when it comes to work, but it's what I want. I mean, you talk about people in business. Well, I haven't seen the wife and I haven't seen my kids. But actually, it's about self-driven people. And you at the office or in your business or wherever you are, you're having a lot of fun doing. So I don't kind of
Have you asked your family? Do you have a family?
Yes, I do. I have kids, grown-up
How
kids.
do they feel?
They know I'm having fun at the office.
So they think you're balanced.
So I suppose in a way it's a bit selfish because, your drive, your passion can be a selfish thing because it's what turns you on. So let's think about, look, I sacrifice weekends. Obviously, you're enjoying yourself doing what you're doing. And I've had the most amazing amount of fun building this business. I just loved every minute of it.
So you need to be slightly selfish. Tsidi, let's move on. I haven't got it in for you this evening. And I'm going to ask you to weigh in with a woman's perspective here.
I guess from a woman perspective, it's even more challenging in the sense that women tend to play a number of roles. To be a mother at home, to your children, and to your husband. And also to be excellent in what you do at work. It does create a challenge for women. I must say that when I started, I just did not have a balance myself at all. Over the years, I've managed it in terms of knowing the type of work that I do, which therefore means that it requires flexibility from my family as well, but plan ahead, make sure that I do take leave at a certain time with my family. So for me, you create a proper planning and flexibility because of the type of work that you do. And make your family to understand and communicate with your family all the time about those challenges of balance.
Stephen, I believe your wife has a lot to do with balance. You've got an anecdote you'd like to share with us.
Yeah, I think Ivan made the point. In your early years of development, balance is very difficult to achieve. And I'll never forget, we had the founder of our group, Ian Cantor, used to haul us in on Sunday mornings. We're only about 20 or 30 people in the group, and have these meetings. He'd say, okay, our meeting's from 8 to 12. But if Ian said till 12, you know it's till 6. But I had a lunchtime arrangement because I thought we were finishing at 12, and I didn't think Ian would be his normal self. And at about 2 o'clock or 1:30, I wasn't home yet. So my wife phoned and said, Bernard Cantor answered the phone, and she said she wants to speak to Ian. He thought she wanted to speak to me. And he didn't want to speak to me because she wasn't going to speak to me on this occasion. And she said to Ian, is the bank going broke? So he said, no, everything's fine. So he said, oh, well, is the building on fire? So he said, no, everything's fine. She says, well, I can't think of another reason why Stephen is not at our lunch date. So it was very difficult to achieve balance in those earlier years. And I do think you can, as you progress, get a degree of balance. And I do think what Shamil said is important family moments and support of your family are fundamental. Because they get older and they start reminding you weren't here for this, you weren't here for that, you weren't here for something else. So you've got to know that there are sacrifices, but you have to try and achieve a degree of balance, although it is very difficult if you're going to grow and develop a business or your own personal career.
Ivan, what's next for you?
We continue to build the business, and I'm very active entrepreneurially. So I'm always involved in different ventures. I get involved, I invest, and just creating and building. And I think it's important also when you get to a certain size, and this is not theoretical speak, is giving back to the communities that you've made money from. And I think that's a responsibility each and every one of us carry, and so will you guys carry this going into the future. Never ever forget how important it is to give back to the communities. And I think that's the strength of having a business that has substance behind you. You're able to do that, and it's a very rewarding thing you can do in life.
Thank you very much for the interactivity we've seen from our audience this evening. That brings us to the close of Captains of Industry. Thank you very much, Stephen Koseff, Tsiri Mokhobudi, Shamil Yusuf, and Ivan Epstein. It's been a pleasure. You've been watching Captains of Industry, coming to you from Investec's head office here in Johannesburg.